All right, there's no apparel or footwear brand over the last year that has had a more surprising impact on me in my golf universe than G4. Here's the thing, I always thought G4 was for fashion-forward people. I thought it was too over the top for me. I didn't think I could pull it off. And then I wore a pair of Gallivanter shoes for the first time, which I've always thought were some of the most beautiful and best looking golf shoes out there. And not only could I pull them off, but they inspired more confidence in my game. As I wore more G4 shoes, I fell more and more in love with them. As I wore G4 apparel, I was surprised by how good it is. So honestly, from a completely objective standpoint, it's become one of my favorite golf brands because everything fits so well and it looks really good. But today we're talking specifically about G4 shoes. If you're in the market for a pair of G4s, which one should you buy? Especially this year, there are a few new models which make it a little bit less clear which one is right for you. So we're going to talk about 5 different G4 models. I'm going to explain the differences between them, what I like, what I don't, and help you figure out which ones you should buy or if you should just go with something else entirely because it's not a brand that is for everybody. So if you want to know my thoughts on the latest lineup of G4 shoes, keep watching. That's what we're talking about today. I'm sure you know this, but I just want to spell it out. I want to be very clear. If you use any of the links below and you buy a product, I will get a commission. Also, if you use our G4 coupon code, which will save you 10%, I will get a commission on that. If you don't want to use any of those things, you can just go to the G4 website, Google it, it'll take you there. It's all good. My whole goal here is just to help you find the golf products you want. I don't care what you buy or if you buy anything. I just want to try and provide the best information possible. That being said, if you have found this valuable and you do decide to buy a pair of shoes, if you use that code or click the link, it allows me to continue making content like this and it helps me out a ton. So just wanted to be fully upfront about that. Now let's get straight into the shoes. All right, let's start out with kind of the flagship shoes when you think of G4. So when most people think of G4 shoes, they think of this. This is the Gallivanter, and it's stunning. They have some beautiful colorways. They take a traditional golf shoe silhouette and they modernize it. The pebbled leather makes it feel super high end, but the cleats and the skull and crossbones and the designs on the bottom just add more of a modern flair and make them look really good. So previously, if you wanted a pair of Gallivanters, they retail for around $225. You just go pick out the ones you like and buy them. But now you also have these, the Gallivanter G-Locks. And you also have these, the Gallivanters, which look like Gallivanters but are a little bit different. So which ones should you buy? Well, let's talk about the differences real quick between these 3 shoes and help you figure out which one is best for you. Okay, so we just talked about the traditional Gallivanter. What's different between that and the brand new G-Lock? Well, not much except for one very notable distinction, and that is this. The new G-Lock actually has removable spikes. So that's one of the critiques about the older Gallivanters is they aren't really spikeless because they do have very grippy, very sharp spikes, but they're not removable. So over time, if you're walking through parking lots or if you're walking on concrete or cart paths, they're gonna start to wear down more quickly. Well, with the new G-Lock, you get a full-on tour shoe, high-end spikes that are removable, so it's essentially going to add to the longevity of this shoe. And this is the type of shoe that is so well built, and once you wear it in, it's going to be comfortable for dozens and dozens of rounds in the future. So if you're looking to invest in a shoe, and it is an investment, the G-Locks are $240, which is just a little bit over the regular Gallivanters, you want something that's going to last. So which one of these should you buy? Well, honestly, in reality, in practice, wearing them, they're pretty similar. They both have great traction, they both look good, they're both comfortable. Again, with the new G-Lock, you have that added flexibility of the removable spikes, but for me personally, that's not something I'm super concerned about. So what I would say is unless that's a big deal for you, unless like the removable spikes, that's a deal breaker, in which case go get the G-Lock, I would say go with whichever colorways you like because there's some slightly different colorways between the G-Lock and the original Gallivanters. So just find the ones you like the best and go with those. I've also seen some of the original Gallivanter colorways go on sale more frequently, so you might be able to get a little bit of a discount as long as you're okay with not having the removable spikes. That being said, all things being equal, you might as well go with these because this is kind of the flagship G4 Gallivanter currently. However, as I mentioned, there's now 3 Gallivanters on the market. The originals, the G-Locks, and these. The Gallivanters that have weird spelling but is pronounced Gallivanter. Dude, I'm sorry. These are really cool looking shoes. Like I genuinely like these. When I've worn them to the course for the first time, I had like 3 people stop me and say, "What are those?" So if you're looking for something that people are going to comment on, this is the one. So essentially what this is a hybrid between the Gallivanter and G4's flagship spikeless shoe, the MG4 Plus. When it comes to this, if you're in the market for a G4 shoe and you're not sure which one to buy, you're probably looking at G4 as like, you know what, they look good, it's a fashion-forward brand, you want something that might stand out a little bit. I think right now, as it sits, for most people that are looking to buy a G4 shoe, this is probably the one to get. First off, it's their newest silhouette. Yeah, the G-Lock is new as well, but it still mostly looks like a Gallivanter. This is something totally different, and it pops. You wear this thing out on the course, and people notice. It just looks good. They have some really bright, really flashy colorways, while still having kind of a traditional silhouette. That's what I think is so great about some of these G4 shoes, is they take tradition, marry it with modern style, and create something that's a little bit different than what any other golf brand is doing. So this, at first glance, kind of looks like a Gallivanter, but you put it on, and it feels more like an MG4 Plus. And so the MG4 is one of the most comfortable golf shoes I have ever worn. Over the past year, my MG4 shoes are probably the ones that I have worn more than any other shoe, and part of what I do is review golf shoes for a living. So that says a lot about how comfortable they are and how well they perform. So when you pretty much take a combination of one of my favorite spikeless shoes and what I think is the best looking shoe on the market, you get something really cool. And then you look at the bottom, ignore the fact they're a little bit dirty. The spike pattern is super unique, and honestly, when you look at it and you feel it, I was expecting traction to suffer. And frankly, they work really well on the course. They're very stable, traction is really good. It's definitely not going to be as good as either of the Gallivanters. Even the regular Gallivanters that don't have the removable spikes are very sharp and provide a lot of traction. These are great under normal conditions, just not going to be quite as stable and not quite as traction heavy as those other ones. The benefit compared to the Gallivanters, though, is they don't take quite as long to break in. While I didn't have a huge break-in period with the Gallivanters, they honestly were more comfortable than I was expecting them to be right out of the box. They are fairly stiff golf shoes, and so for some people, they will take a few rounds of walking in to really kind of reach their peak comfort level. This, right out of the gate, super comfortable. It has the traditional G4 nubbed insoles, which feels weird if you've never used them, but by the time you hit the 14th, 15th hole of your first round walking in them, you will appreciate the little massage that you get on your feet. Hopefully my editor is going to be able to like put some photos in here because I wear these shoes, so some of them I did not do a great job of cleaning, so sorry about that. Hey, sorry to interrupt. Are you finding this useful, or are you still not sure which shoe is right for you? If you're still not sure, go take our 20-second golf shoe quiz. You're gonna answer a few questions about what you're looking for, and I'm gonna give you my best recommendation based on your specific needs. I think you're gonna find it super helpful, so go click the link below, check that out, and with that, back to the video. And that brings us to the best part of the Gallivanters is they retail for 175 bucks. And granted, 175 bucks, that's not cheap. That's a lot of money. But in the world of golf shoes these days, that's starting to get kind of like standard for a high-end shoe. What's cool about this is it's a lot less than most G4 shoes. The Gallivanters are $225, $240 for the G-Lock. So to see these come in at 175, that's like 25 to 50 bucks cheaper than I expected them to come in at. So that's why I think it's the best fit for most people right now, because it's comfortable, they look cool, they're the ones that are going to get noticed and get the most comments because they are the newest, and they're also the cheapest. So you combine all those things together, not to mention you can use the coupon code, save an additional 10%, all of a sudden it becomes a pretty killer deal. But what if you're not looking for that traditional Gallivanter silhouette? There are two other shoes that I've worn a ton and absolutely love. The first is the MG4 X2. So if you're looking for like an all-day shoe, if you're looking for something you can wear on a plane, wear to the gym, wear out to the bars, wear on a walk, and wear on the golf course, these are the ones for you. So when I first got these, I looked at them and I was like, I don't think these are gonna be my favorite. There's a lot going on design-wise with these shoes, but the more I wore them, the more I fell in love with it. The more I liked the fact that they were different than any other shoes I owned. And the fact that I could wear them on a plane, I could wear them on a walk, I could wear them to the gym, I could wear them on the golf course. The fact they had that versatility made it one of my favorite travel shoes, and it's one of my favorite all-day shoes, which I talked about in a recent video that I will link below. These also recently got a price cut, so you can now usually find them for under 200 bucks, and there's a bunch of different colorways if this feels like there's too much going on. The knock on these ones in particular is I've found that they tend to get pretty dirty, and and are a little bit hard to clean, but that also is just because I'm pretty hard on shoes. But if you're looking for a G4 shoe that you can kind of do anything in, these are the ones you want. Finally, the last shoe we've got is probably my favorite overall G4 shoe. This is the one I wear the most. I just mentioned what it was, and I mentioned this is my most worn shoe over the last year, and that is this, the G4 MG4 Plus. It is super comfortable. It's very waterproof. It's very robust for a spikeless shoe. It has great traction. It's not necessarily what I would consider an all-day shoe. Like, this is not one that I would wear out to the bars. I wouldn't wear this on a walk or wear it to the gym, although I do know people that do, so you can consider that if you want. But I just kind of look at this as their flagship, truly spikeless golf shoe. So the traction, it's got a different pattern than what you're going to find on the Gallivanter or the irregular Gallivanter. I think that's one of the things that is cool about G4 is a lot of brands, they'll use the same kind of patterns, they'll use the same tread across a number of different shoes. I mean, you look at the difference between the Gallivanter, the Gallivanter, and the MG4 Plus, and all of the tread looks completely different. So there's a lot of engineering, there's a lot of different stuff that's going into it, and it makes it truly feel like a more unique shoe because they're doing things for each different model that separate it from other models on the line. Although I guess you've got 3 Gallivanters that all look kind of similar, but I think you get what I mean. So all that to say, I'm gonna be honest, I've worn G4 shoes for probably 70% of my golf rounds over the course of the last year. I still think the Echo C4, even going on like 3 years now, that might be the best overall golf shoe I have ever worn. But when it comes to style, function, mixing things up, these are the shoes that I've been wearing the most these days. I just am genuinely a fan of G4 products. So hopefully this was helpful. If you are in the market for a G4 shoe, these are the ones I would recommend. Those were all the reasons why. If you have questions about fit or style or which ones are right for you, drop a comment below. I will do my very best to answer every single one. And as I mentioned, if you got some value out of this, if you found this useful and you do decide to buy one of these, go use that coupon code. You're gonna save 10%. I'm gonna get a commission. Everybody wins. And if you're not cool with that, then just go Google G4 and go buy it from the website. No hard feelings. I just wanna make sure you find the right products for you. So with that, my name's Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here at Breaking 80. I hope you found this useful. Please subscribe if you did. And if you're still not sure which golf shoes are right for you, I've got a golf quiz. It's gonna take you 20 seconds. Go answer it. Tell me a few things about what you're looking for, and I'm gonna give you my best recommendation based on your needs. With that, I hope you have an excellent day, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.